Hello everyone, welcome to Beauty and Lifestyle by Anandita. Today I'll talk about prepositions of time and place. Now, in, on and at, these three are prepositions of time and place, and sometimes these are really confusing, especially for beginners. If you are a beginner and you're planning to go for an interview, or you have a meeting in office and you have no other choice but you have to talk to people in English, then I have seen that most of the times people make mistakes, because for us, for Indians, we do not have any such thing, right? Or like, even if you make a mistake in your mother tongue, people won't consider it as a mistake. It's just the way you talk. But when it comes to English, and definitely it's not your mother tongue, you have learned it, if you make a mistake, it is considered as a mistake. So in my channel, I always simplify something, simplify few things which you have to use very often. You can avoid them, and most oftenly you will make a mistake, and I know it will happen unless you practice. So only by talking to yourself in front of the mirror, or only by watching some TV shows or serials or web series, you are not going to make or you're not going to correct yourself. To correct yourself in these things, you have to practice. So today, that's the reason why I thought I'll talk about prepositions today. So when we look at them as in, on, at, we perhaps move from general to specific. So in is general and at is specific. On stands in between. On is quite specific, not as general as in, not as specific as at. So in, on, at, general, quite general, specific, like that. So let's talk about prepositions of time first, and then I'll talk about prepositions of place. So I'll start with in. I'll just tell you how to use in, how to use on, how to use at. I'll give you a few sentences, guys, so that you do not really have to think. If I just give you a description or kind of definitions, you will keep on thinking. So I just thought I'll give you sentences so you can match them. When you have to talk about similar things, you can actually copy my sentences and talk accordingly. Then you will not make a mistake. So number one, guys, in. Periods of time like in future, in present, in the past. Number two, years. In 1999, in the 80s, in 19th century. Okay. Number three, seasons. For an example, in spring, I feel positive. In winter, I feel sad. Number four, months and weeks. Like in June, we go for holidays. In March, my daughter was born, like that. Then parts of the days, like in the morning, in the afternoon. Let's move on to on. Again, I'll give you 5 examples, 5 sentences, and definitely situations when you can use them. So number one, dates. For an example, on the 20th of March, my daughter was born. Number two, holidays with day, like Christmas Day, Independence Day. So when you're talking about these days, how you will talk is, on the Independence Day, we do these things. On the Christmas Day, we go to the church, like that. Number three, days of a week. For an example, on Mondays, I go for yoga. On Sundays, I go for swimming. On Saturdays, I attend my music class. Then a particular day of a month, when you have to highlight a particular day of a month, you can use on. For an example, on the 6th of April, I was born. Actually, I was born on the 6th of April, that's my birthday. Then there is one more thing which I call a miscellaneous, yeah. It's like on time. On time means When you have to reach somewhere, you reach on the time when you are expected to reach, neither earlier nor late. So you are exact on time, then it's on time. Now let's move on to at. At is more specific, as I just told you guys. So at is to be used, when you talk about something very specific. For an example, specific times like at 10 a.m. I prepare breakfast, or at 5 o'clock I watch TV, like that. Then when you talk about holidays without a day, then we use at. For an example, at Diwali, we go to our friend's house. At Eid, I do so and so things. At Durga Puja days, I do these things. Right? So these are examples, guys. So when you are talking about holidays without a day mentioned, then you have to use at. Otherwise, if you are mentioning a day, then like I have already just said, you have to use on, like on Christmas Day, on the Independence Day. Otherwise, like when you are not using the day, then it's at Diwali, at Durga Puja, like that. Then there is another thing which I call at miscellaneous. It's like at night. Generally when we talk about parts of a day, then it's in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. However, when it comes to night, we say at night. And please do remember this. Don't ever say in night or at morning or something like that. These are the basic things. For us, for the native speakers, it doesn't really matter. Our languages are not like that. However, when you talk to people in English, these are the basic things, and don't ever make a mistake. For prepositions of place also, guys, if we take from in, then on, then at, then it's like moving from general to specific. So again, in is general, on is quite general, and at is specific. First I'll talk about in. I'll give you 4 examples. Number 1, countries. I am in India, in Bangladesh, in England, in Australia, in America. Number 2, cities. Like I am in Bangalore, I am in Dhaka, I am in Sydney, I am in New York. Then closed spaces. For an example, or you can say small ways of transport, like I am in a car, I am in a taxi, I am in an auto. Then for books or newspapers also we use in. For an example, I got to know about this, or I was reading about this in a book. I found this in a newspaper. I read this in that newspaper, in that book. Let's move on to on. On is general, however not as general as in. And on is used for, again I'll give you 4 examples. First is like streets or roads or avenues. Like I am on MG Road, Mahatma Gandhi Road. I am on Rabindranath Avenue. Number 2, surfaces. For an example, on the roof, on the table, on first floor. Number 3, public transport which is bigger. If it is smaller, it has to be in. If it is bigger, then on. On a bus, on a plane. But when you say taxi, in a taxi, in a car, on a bus, on a plane. Please remember, this is very important. Number 4. Number 4 is communication and media. For an example, I was watching this on TV. I was on internet. Okay? Let's move on to at. At is always specific, particular, and it's really specific. Only by saying specific, if you don't understand, then here are the examples. I'll share 2 very important examples of places where you can use at. When you are talking about a particular address, not just a street, not just a country, not just a city or a building or something, you are talking about a particular place, then you would say, I am at 1/2 Park Street, or I am at 15th Park Avenue. You understand the difference, right? Between in, on and at. At is always specific. Or if I talk about a specific location, okay, for an example, I am at the bus stop. I am at the railway station. I am at the museum. Depending on which situation you are in, or exactly what is the thing that you're talking about, I mean, considering the situation, these 3 can change places as well. These 3 can be changed as well. If you want to say, or if you want to talk about a particular work that you are doing in the museum, then you can say in the museum. But if you are telling someone about your location, then at the museum. If you are having an ice cream, you can say that I'm at the bus stop having an ice cream. But if you are talking to someone in the bus stop and you are talking to somebody else about that incident, you would say, I met so and so people and we have chatted for a long time in the bus stop. And then it is not incorrect. Definitely there is a rule, however, it keeps on changing. I simplified for you guys. If you follow my tips, if you just concentrate and take my sentences, you can simply place them. You do not really have to experiment a lot. You do not really have to think a lot. Just take my sentences and put them when you have to use them. That way you can make least mistakes. However, do talk to yourself. Do watch English shows, news channels, TV series, web series, whatever that will add to your vocabulary, and definitely you will not be tied up with only few sentences or few words or something. You will have more. So with that, I'll end today's video, guys. I hope you like it. If you do, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Facebook, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, you take care, do practice and be flawless, be stylish, be confident. Bye-bye.